Hey everyone, and welcome back to Porch Talks. Hello demigods and everyone else. It's me, Sean, just sitting here relaxing. It's a beautiful day. It's been a while. We had some pretty nasty days there. It was snowing one day. It was warm the next. It's been all up and down here when it comes to weather. But hey, welcome to Porch Talks. I just finished recording for Baldur's Gate 3 again. It was a dialogue dump, a lot of interesting stuff dealt with, a lot of weird things presented. I'm going to say so far, a lot of the options and choices presented to the player are a lot of punishments, which is kind of sad. Should be rewarded a little more for interacting with this world, but everything seems like glutton agony, you know? Yeah, I mean, there's one scene where, of course, spoilers for those who haven't seen it or don't plan to. It's fine. There's one choice where you have to save some girl from a druid. Druid's gonna kill her. It's a very punishing thing, so you're like, okay, I guess I save you. Nothing happens yet. Maybe I'll go and talk to the mom and say, hey, I saved your daughter. Did you know it was me? And the mom's gonna be like, thank you so much. Oh my god, I can only afford 3 pennies. Here you go. You know, like, what is the thank you that's gonna come out? What is it's gonna come from that? Who knows? But even like the other choices we've had, you know, options to attack people. It's always very murder hobo encouraging. A good way to put it. It allows people to get those murder hobo tendencies, which are usually preluded in video games significantly, to kind of get that out of your system if you want to. And it does have appeal to a good portion of the audience. People do like to do that because they can't really do it in real life. So I like to go on murder hobo sprees. So with that, if you haven't not familiar with the term, murder hobo just means someone who kills everything and anything within a tabletop or RPG system. It's like, if I have the option to, I would just destroy every single obstacle in my path, literally, physically destroy them in my path, and therefore pushing the story through violence, which is pretty one-sided. You don't get a lot of rich, enthusiastic story when half of the party or the people involved in that cast are not there anymore. But hey, thank you. It's my real ramble about that. You can check it out if you want to. Also, something new news for the new year that's going to be coming up is I started a Discord server. I will put the link in the comments. Not comments, but in the description of the video. I'll also put a link to, hopefully, go start a Reddit page too, so you guys can post and talk crap about my videos as much as your heart's desire. Feel free. Submit your drawings or anything else, you guys. Maybe your memes about me. If you want to make fun of me, that is a perfect place to post it. Put it on my subreddit when I get that up and going. So, or just post it in the Discord and I'll post it in the subreddit. And we'll talk about it there. That'd be really funny. I'm sure a lot of you would love to get some stabs into me, especially by some of my Mythomagic players or my RPG players or D&D players. But I actually brought some stuff out to share with you. Yeah, show and tell, share and tell. I don't know. It's a porch. Things happens here. Occasionally. Sometimes packages get delivered. Fortunately, I don't see Porch Cat. It might be a little too cold for our neighbor to let him out to go out around the yard and stuff. I know my cat is bundled up. Alright, first thing. One of my favorite books, Little Prince, by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Little Prince is an amazing book. It's about growing up. It teaches not just children the importance of growing up and the right way to do it, but also adults, how not to forget what is important about being a kid. It's important. What's the important stuff? My favorite line that you could take out of this is actually from the Fox. Fox says here, let's see, do I have the right page open? when the fox says goodbye, after meeting the little prince has to go. The fox says, here's my secret. It's quite simple. One sees clearly only with the heart. Anything essential is invisible to the eyes. So the bonds and the things that we care about that connect us all to anything are invisible. These things are not something that you can tie a rope to or to say, hey, this is your love for me. Bloom, I got a brand new car, right? It doesn't work that way. So, fantastic book. Highly recommend it. It's about a little prince who goes on an adventure, seeking something, realizing he had it all along. It also helps with the understanding of this is a hero's journey. He goes on an adventure, figures out, he got a little guidance, a little mentoring. He learns some things as he travels from different planets, ending up eventually in the desert, and what he has to do to get back. So the cool part about this book, not only is it probably one of my favorite books, is because it's easy to read. It's got pictures and colors, and it's a lot of fun, and it's for kids. It also talks about creativity. I'll talk that in a second. But there is now an added sequel, more or less, or additional content for The Little Prince, which there hasn't been. This is one of the most popular books that's been around for ages. I mean, ages. It is very popular. 1943, renewed by 1971 by Antonio de Zachariah Estate. So it's pretty old. It's been around for a long time. It stood the test of time. But what I was going to say is there's additional content for this book now in Netflix. They've made a Little Prince movie. And James Franco, the fox I just gave you a line from, actually James Franco is the one who does the fox. Pretty cool, right? You might know James Franco as the Green Goblin, Spider-Man, or any of the other amazing videos that he's done, as well as movies. But pretty rad, right? That book is really cool. It has a really good message, and I could tell you, the movie brought me to tears. It is very moving. It tells you how we connect with each other in the world, and what it means to have a friend, what it means to go after and to pursue that friendship and those bonds that are invisible. And it's a very well done story. It's to the point. Of course, the book is the apex of this, but the movie's not bad. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was well done for what it is, and that's impressive. Something else I wanted to show you guys today is I brought this is Skull Kid. Yeah, like the channel's name, Skull Kid Zero. So it's named after this guy. Well, reason why. So Skull Kid, I know it's hard to tell there, but he's wearing a mask, right? So this is from the game Zelda, Majora's Mask. And what happened is there was this kid before he had the mask, right? And he's cast out by his friend, society, the world. He's treated like an other, an outlier. Oops, get cold. And he's sad. But he ends up making two friends out in the middle of the woods. He was hiding underneath a big log. Makes two friends. A fairy, a white fairy and a black fairy that are also lost. And they become friends, and they have great time together. And that's all he's ever wanted. And one day, he's playing with his friends, having a good time. He's a bit of a casual prankster. Oh man, it's colder out here than I thought it was. Yeah, he's outside having a good time, and he stumbles upon a traveling mask merchant. And he's pillaging through his stuff, and he stumbles upon this mask. And this mask is Majora's Mask. It's a cursed mask. It's very powerful, and it's very evil. So, it's pretty sad. A ill fate has fallen upon him. And so, as Link, you're traveling to this world looking for your friend, who's Navi, I believe, is what it references to, who is the other fairy that travels with Link. And upon doing so, you stumble into Skull Kid. Skull Kid finds you and plays a prank on you and takes your horse. Sends that thing off. He's like, nah, get this horse out of here. He won't listen to me. And he's like, you're gonna, and Link's upset. He's like, give me back my stuff. He took my ocarina, which is his musical instrument that he uses, that he was a gift from Zelda. This Skull Kid's like, oh, I like it. Oh, it's mine now. And he's like, you know what? Don't get in my way. And so he curses Link, turning him into a Deku Kid, or a Deku, which is like this plant-based creature. Now I want to tell you something about Majora's Mask Zelda. The reason why this game stands out so much is because, unlike the other Zelda games, it was rushed. A lot of the character models, a lot of the story about that, some of it was taken from the first one. Ocarina of Time. Sorry, trying to keep myself a little warm. I didn't realize it was going to be so cold. But, so the producer, the guy who made it, the creator, used his nightmares as influences. So this is a much darker version of a Zelda game in the franchise. It's very dark. And I think Skull Kid is a representation of that. The representation of trying to make a friend. That's what this channel is for me. This is me reaching out saying, hey, I've suffered an ill fate. I've grown up. Maybe I've lost my way. Maybe I got lost in the desert. Maybe I forgot what it meant. Maybe I'm trying to figure it out. Maybe I'm angry at the world. I'm upset. Just like Skull Kid was upset. I mean, the mask latched onto something, right? Maybe it's the fact that society and his friends and her friends or whoever abandoned him, ostracized him, sent him out to the forest, the swamp. That's where he felt at home. Kind of sad. But at the end of the day, all Skull Kid, myself, and I would hope everyone wants, there are some friends. So yeah, that's why this channel is named after Skull Kid, because even though he's the villain in that game, and the mask and the powers he possesses, he's trying to bring the moon down upon the world, and as Link, you're trying to stop him. What are you really fighting in here? You know what I mean? You go to the 4 different locations. You go to the water temple. You go to the Grundos or whatever, the mountain. You go to the swamp. There's another one in there too. I'm sorry. It's been a while since I played the full thing through. But he went to these places. I mean, these were these seeds of power are where these giants are located to help prevent the moon from falling, so you can actually have a chance to stop Skull Kid. But yeah, I mean, Skull Kid didn't know that this mask was going to irrevocably change his life for the worse, but it gave him the power to look back at society and say, no, you're the villain. I have the power now to stand up to you. You are so strong. You push all this on me. And you cast me out. That's how strong you were. You removed me from the equation. I didn't belong. And so now I'm forcing my way back in, whether you like it or not. And since you don't like it, well, I'm going to get rid of you. We're better off without you. Because the moon isn't crashing on just any part in the game. It's the city. It's the village or the area. And people flee, they abandon, they run away. Exactly. Skull Kid's forcing them to go through the situation that he went through. You're forced to leave your home. Yeah, that was a Zelda game, Zelda, Link, and Ganondorf. Those 3, the Triforce. Yeah, all that stuff. You see it later on. And you'll see Skull Kid later too. But that's why the channel's named after that. So hopefully through this experience of opening myself up to criticism and through commentary and the internet and YouTube and whatnot, I can make some friends. Yeah, I probably will make some enemies too. But maybe they could be frenemies. The enemy of my frenemy is my anemone. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's porch talk. I'm gonna probably end it a little shorter than my other ones just because I am pretty cold. But let's see. Maybe I could pull one more thing out of this book for you guys. The very beginning. I like the beginning. It's one of the magnificent beginnings. So, the prince ends up on a desert. He meets this crashed pilot. Pilot was flying over the desert and his engine stopped or something. He ended up crash landing in the desert. Pilot's trying to fix his airplane. Little prince shows up out of nowhere. Guy thinks he's hallucinating. Probably. And he goes there. The little prince asks him, I need a sheep. I need a sheep to eat these plants that are growing on my planet that are going to, take over and destroy the planet. They'll grow too much. They're baobab trees, or baobab, I'm pronouncing it right. But anyways, baobab trees, which are large, giant trees that usually elephants rub up against. And it says they grow on his asteroid or his planet. And then he needs to stop them. If they're not taken care of, they'll overgrow and they'll destroy the planet. He says a sheep would help that. So the guy draws a couple sheep. First sheep, too old. Second sheep, too sickly. Third sheep, it has horns. It's a ram. It's not a sheep. So the guy gets fed up. The adult gets fed up. The guy, the pilot's like, I'm done with this kid. Here you go. And he draws a box. And the box has holes in it. And he says, the sheep you were looking for is within this box. And the little prince looks at him and goes, it's perfect. Look. Look. He just fell asleep. And I think that standpoint, or that whole phrase of the creativity, the imagination, the fact that a child or a kid versus an adult just sees things as they are, not what they can be, but the possibility, the potential beyond, and that's not all adults, of course, but that's what this book's trying to say. Like, don't forget this when you're growing up. Don't forget that, a box can be an adventure. A box can be like SpongeBob, where him and Patrick are in the front yard making noises and they're going back in time. And then Squidward's up there in his house like, what is going on? I must know the secrets of this box. But Squidward's never going to figure out the secrets unless he hops in the box himself and starts doing his imagination and start using his brain that way as well. And it's not always easy for everyone. Maybe that's something I'm looking forward to, maybe reconnecting to that. I like to assume that I do a pretty good job. And my job usually uses that quite a bit, that imagination and creativity and, what's the word? Improvisation. But yeah. Well, I hope you like today's porch talk. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful time. Take care. Bye.